What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and my glip-glops out there? Today I want to discuss a few common mistakes that we all kind of go through in Paladins. And with that, let's get this going. So, the first thing I've noticed is you'll have those players who really like playing flanks because they do a lot of damage. And a lot of them are hit and runs and whatnot. But the problem I'm running into is people aren't prioritizing those targets when you're playing a flank or a damage or any character ever. What I mean by prioritizing your targets is like, okay, if there's a great Strix or Kinessa sitting in the back and just being able to snipe away, we kind of need to stop that, because if they have a good position up over the objective, they're going to stop you from capping. They're going to just keep slaughtering you over and over. That also goes for like Drogoses who aren't flying around, that basically sit, or Willows, or any of those kind of like stationary ones. Like, you gotta keep the pressure on them. But like, that's saying that as well is when they're dead, who's the next priority target? You gotta figure out who's causing the most harm to your team and then prioritize them in order. Like, make sure, like, if it's their like flank Nando is taking over the world, you might want to take out flank Nando. But, you know, it all depends. Each game's completely different. I'm not saying every Kinessa or Strix is the same. I've literally, this clip, you'll see, like, the best Strix I've seen in casuals. But then I've also had a Strix on my team who did, like, 2,000 damage. So, I mean, no, they're not created equal. Another thing I've noticed that's been bothering me a lot lately is tanks just sitting there and eating damage for no reason. I mean, I've been guilty of this. I still kind of do it sometimes if I'm not paying attention. But, like, the prime example is Tyra's Firebomb. And people just sit there and stand in it. They don't try to leave, and they just stand in it. Like, I played against Fernando, who I would throw my Firebomb at him, and he would just sit there and throw up his shield like that's going to protect him. Like, that's the biggest thing, is, like, you need to know when to take hits and when to bolt out and recover. Like, you just kind of have to, like, I mean, that takes practice, but you'll go back and forth with it. Oh, the biggest mistake all new players make is when they turn auto-buy off, because they're like, alright, I got this. They don't buy items. If you're not good at remembering to buy items, leave auto-buy on. At least it'll give you a slight advantage, versus this is going to give you nothing. And that, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't buy any items, you're not going to be any good. Oh my goodness. So, we're going to have a Snapchat notification, but who cares? Next is not knowing your roles. I have videos, terrible videos, but I have videos about each role. It's not that complicated. Flanks are flank, you know, it's... Well, I'm not going to go there. My second biggest pet peeve are these people who are quote-unquote gods, and they play one-man army style, and they always get slaughtered, but then they'll spam need healing or help when they're running in by themselves. Like, I've been guilty of this too, but we can't do that. If you're going to run into a group of 5 solo, you're going to die. Now, if you say you 5 take out a group of 3, you have the numbers advantage. You're most likely to win. That's called a team effort. 1v3, you're going to die. Unless they're really bad and don't notice you. But still, most times you're going to die. And then, guys, one thing that's really bad that a lot of new players especially do, and that's really harmful, is wasting your ultimates, alts, or your abilities, whatever you want to call them. Any ability for each character has its perk and its use. I call them kits. I'm an old Smite player though, so that's understandable. Actually, I think even World of Warcraft we use that term too. But anyways, guys, I've been playing games that have ability names and all kinds of stuff. But when you blow your whole kit on somebody and you don't get the kill, it kind of makes you feel bad. I mean, unless it's like a really good tank that's like going to eat the damage and brush it off, or like they've got a tremendous heal on them, which is fine. But I'll like give you a quick example. Genoses with their ults, yes, it takes a second to charge, but like right at the end of each round, your ult doesn't go away into the next round. If you're at the end of the game and you're just going to do it just because you fucking can, that's good for you. I do the same shit. But if you're not, like if you're actually trying to get a kill and it's like like round over or like push failed, you know, defense failed, whatever. Like when you're hitting that, don't pop your ult on that. Like if you're popping your ult because it's an overtime and they're about to push it in, and then like you kill everybody and that happens, or like weak slaughter everybody as it comes. Okay, but like I've seen Genos try to do it at the last second just to try to get a kill. It's like, who cares? Move on. You're Genos. I care. Me personally, if I see a Genos with 100k plus heals, I know Genos did his job. I don't care if he only did 20k damage. And that's leading into my next thing, is people care too much about damage and kills and not focusing on like your actual targets, like front lines. I want front lines to have a bunch of shielding and objective time. Unless it's kind of like a Barrack or something where he's more of an off-tank, being a kind of a dick. Even like a Terminus, because I've seen flanking Terminuses with the latest patch. Beautiful. But, like, I'm not expecting 100k damage out of a Terminus. Or anything like that. Like, if you're, I don't know, we'll say Saris this time. I'm not going to keep picking on Genos players. If you're Saris, I'm not going to expect you to have 80k damage and 10k heals. No, I want 80k heals with 10k damage on a short match. Like, that's what I'm expecting. Front lines, like I said, objective time. Damages and flanks. Flanks, I definitely want to see, like, either high assists, like, in kills, like, you know, all that stuff. I don't care. Like, I want high elims, high kills, high assists. I don't want low damage, low assists, low kills. Like, in damages is pretty much the same thing. Like, just, hell, I don't care if you don't, like, if you're Bomb King. Bomb King's a great example of this. People get so mad about Bomb Kings. Well, you gotta realize Bomb King, Grumpy Bomb can turn the tide of an objective real fast. Because if he stuns their whole, like, let's say they have two fronts. He stuns them, you guys come up and clean house, bam, you have that objective. If their damages and DPSs and healers try to come in, they're gonna get wrecked. So, like, you don't always have to focus on just how much damage you're doing. It's more of an objective-based thing. Like, Bomb Kings and Drogoses may not have the highest damage, but if they can clear out that objective point, or clear them off a payload, like, that's, to me, is a win, versus if they do 100k plus damage. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you all again for watching. If you liked the video, please like it. You know, if you know some players that are new to Paladins and need to listen, you know, share it with them, whatnot, junk and stuff. I appreciate you listening to this point, and I'll catch you guys next time.